And the diet itself can be a challenge. All the research shows that adherence is the number one problem, right? People have a difficulty just sticking with it because, unlike just taking a pill, which is a quick one and done, you have to eat and you have to live in the world and go to restaurants with friends and things like that. People are going to restaurants and dealing with the raised eyebrows from the waiter or waitress when you're asking for your burger without the bun, and hold the fries, can you do a salad instead of fries, all these sort of things where you have to be comfortable with being a pain in the behind. We were at brunch yesterday, as a matter of fact, with a couple of friends, and it was a couple that I had never met before. There was the woman was a friend of my wife's, and so there's sort of this anxiety, like, are they going to see me as weird? Are they, when I started, I was pretty vigilant about tracking. I used a chronometer to track my, my carbs, my net carbs, and my other macros and everything. That's difficult to keep up, and so that has sort of slid by the wayside a little bit. And in some ways, I think that's okay, because once you really get the sense of it, you can really kind of tell which foods, if I have broccoli, how much is it going to be, and how many carbs is it going to be, and that sort of thing. But yeah, the tracking is something that I go back to sometimes when I'm thinking maybe I'm letting it slide a little bit. I think they sometimes call it carb creep, right? That maybe I forget about the yogurt that I had earlier, and then there's this, and then it sort of starts to add up. So that's definitely a challenge. I do all the cooking in our house, so that helps, because I'm able to put together a meal with the ingredients that I know are going to keep me in ketosis. But I know that a lot of folks struggle with that, because they might have children, or they might have a spouse who's eating a different way, and my wife doesn't eat low carb, but and she's from the Philippines, and so in the Philippines it's not a meal without rice. So that can be a challenge. I come from a big family. We have six kids, and we love to eat. So when we get together for Thanksgiving or for a holiday, it's always a big feast. And one of the things that has helped, that I've found, is that since I cook myself, I make sure that I bring something that will be low carb. And generally, if it's a big Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, Christmas dinner or something, I know that there's going to be meat there, and if I bring a side that I know is low carb, I can stick to those things and sort of stay in my lane. And my family is understanding, of course, and they're supportive, and they want to help, and they're well intentioned. So that definitely helps, but it's not always top of mind for everybody, right? And there's sort of I don't want to be difficult, I don't want to stand out, I don't want to, but again, you have to sort of get comfortable with the discomfort in some ways, especially when, my sister loves to make pies, right? And so she makes this special pie for Thanksgiving dinner, and I have to, well, no, I'm okay. And one of the things that has helped me get over that discomfort is just realizing that nobody really cares. No one's really paying that much attention to you. Thinking back, I think I felt very alone when I was first diagnosed, and didn't really know didn't really know where to turn. Epilepsy is common, more common than we think, right? I mean, we hear 1 in 26 people has epilepsy, but it's still rare enough that I think most people may not have someone with epilepsy in their life, or they may not know that that there's a person in their life who has epilepsy. I think the biggest challenge of living with epilepsy is that on a psychological level, you start to distrust your own and question your own brain, your own body. I mean, I remember in recovering from one seizure a year or so ago, and of course, you know, the physical ramifications. I mean, just my body feels like I'm been hit by a truck or something, right? And so I'm lying in bed trying to recover for about 2 days, you know, had to take that time off of work. And of course, that's difficult. But as I was lying in bed, I'm thinking, you know, where do you go when you can't trust your own brain, you know? And, you know, it's difficult. But the flip side of that is that I think, you know, we, in our modern culture, our type A driven, you know, go kind of culture, we're not very good at taking care of ourselves and prioritizing our own health. And it has forced me to do that in a way that I didn't do before. So again, thinking about my stress levels, thinking about my sleep, you know, I've started tracking my sleep with this ring, you know, because I've got to, you know, keep an eye on this. You know, it's sort of, you know, like looking at the oil and the gas level in your car, you know. So all of these things are, I guess, you know, challenges, but also in surmounting some of these challenges, I think in some ways it can be somewhat empowering.